What's up, everybody? This is Mike Manzer with another Manzer-Faust Productions video. It's been a little bit, last couple of weeks I haven't really been feeling that great, but I'm back. Gonna do probably a pretty long video about the Vinegar Syndrome package from February of this year. I just got it on Thursday, Saturday. I'm all screwed up already, but wanted to show that off. But what I really wanted to get into first was I've been making a couple of runs to Archive in Bridgeport, home of Vinegar Syndrome, and I've gotten a few things. So I got some movies there a couple of weeks ago. I'm going to show those off because they kind of go with the package a bit. But I went on, I believe, like Thursday or Friday. Early on in the week, they had posted a giant collection of old metal records that they had gotten in, and just some extraordinary gems. I was pretty sure this one was gone when I got there, but I had to do it. I've been out after this one for a while, so I thought, fuck it, you know what, I'm gonna go there, see if they still have it in stock. Got there, ran directly upstairs to where they have the records, and sure enough, up on the wall, they had it. And yeah. So this is Mercyful Fate, Don't Break the Oath, original from 1984 on Combat. Amazing record, probably one of my favorite, like, early, 80s metal records. Mercyful Fate, obviously from Denmark, if you don't know, and led by the amazing King Diamond. And this is an amazing record, one of my favorites of all time. I've seen it online a bunch for like a lot more than what I paid for it, and yeah, I got it for a real good price, and I'm thrilled to have a pristine original copy of this classic record. And if you follow me on Instagram, the Hordes of Manzer-Faust, you would have seen that, but I've decided to show it here. It's a great, great score. Happy to have grabbed it. So, as I said before, I made a trip there a couple of weeks ago. Got some partner label titles, and I wanted to go over those real quick. So these are ones that have been sold out on the site. Well, one of them is still available, but they've mostly been out on the site for a while. What's good about having Archive right by me is I can go there, and every once in a while they'll have one that's sold out of a slip, or even sold out completely on the site. They'll be able to get it in the store. So, first one I got, I've already watched the first two. I haven't watched the other two yet. So, yeah, this was awesome. This one's Walking the Edge from '83, starring Robert Forster. And this is an amazing movie. Real, kind of vigilante Taxi Driver kind of thing. Not really like Taxi Driver much, though. It's more of it's got that revenge element. It's got the kind of, going against the gang kind of thing. Almost like a little bit like a Death Wish kind of vibe to it. The leader of the gang is Joe Spinell, and one of the best roles of that early 80s Joe Spinell kind of canon. Robert Forster is always really good. It's just got a very well made script, and it's very suspenseful. The characters seem real and very intense. I just had a real ball with it. So that's Walking the Edge. That's put out by Fun City, and I've been trying to get a lot of the Fun City editions. Really good company. They're branching off from OCN, but I believe they have one more release. I might be wrong. Maybe they'll keep releasing through them, but I'm really excited to see what they keep doing elsewhere. Next up, We got Viva, Erotica. This is a Hong Kong film. This was really, really fun. You got Leslie Chang from Happy Together, a bunch of other kind of popular Hong Kong stars at the time. You have a couple of cameos from people like Andrew Wong and stuff, and I really like it. It's got this kind of like almost like Boogie Nights kind of feel to it, but a lot more like upbeat. It's not as like dark and like overly depressing as the second half of Boogie Nights gets. You know, it's got its moments and stuff, but it has a very lighthearted atmosphere, a lot of fun, and it really does give this kind of cool little look into the Category 3 scene in Hong Kong during the 90s. I've been watching a lot of those films lately, so to get kind of like a behind-the-scenes kind of vibe to it, and that it was done in the 90s. It's from 96, so to get that kind of like snapshot of that time period was very cool. There's a booklet with it. I want to dig through that. Yeah, so very great. So this is from a company, one of the partner labels that I haven't dived quite into yet, but you know, they had it, and it's one of those titles. It's been, the slipcase has been sold out, and it's Satan's Menagerie, put out by VHShitfest. You could tell by that artwork it's definitely a shot on video kind of thing, which I'm all about. Looks insane. It's got a bunch of different like creatures, you know, like classic horror monsters and stuff, made up probably to look like they came out of a like Spirit Halloween kind of vibe. But I love this kind of shit, so I'm excited to check that out. And then from AGFA, this one has been sold out completely from the site for a while. Luckily, I got there and they had one copy left. It's Attack of the Beast Creatures. This was made in Connecticut. Not sure where. I still need to dig into this one, but it looks pretty cool. Another like low, but I think it's 16 millimeter, or maybe it's 16 millimeter. So, you know, probably pretty fun. Has a lot of goofy looking creatures in it and stuff. So, hell yeah. So that was a trip I made a couple weeks ago. And Saturday, like I said, I got in my February package. So I also took part in the why am I drawing a blank? Valentine's Day sale that Vinegar Syndrome has every year. I think it started last year or the year before, but they put all their more erotica titles at 50% off, so I kind of went crazy with those. But I'm going to start off with the releases for the month, then get into those. And yeah, so let's start with Biozombie. I haven't watched any of these yet. This looks very cool. Again, Hong Kong, Category 3 vibes. It's got a mall setting to it, so very, seems like it's kind of got that like crime spree, like teenage feel, but mixed with like the Dawn of the Dead, like mall kind of scenario. Very cool. Looking forward to getting into that. It's got a cool cast, and I love that like Category 3 thing, and to see what they do with like zombies and stuff, like it looks very cool. I'm about it. This is Devonsville Terror. I don't know much about this one. I know it's got Donald Pleasance in it, so I'm all about that. I remember seeing this cover image a few times, probably the original VHS or something. It's Little Mel, who I've been getting back into a bit. I've been watching the Boogeyman films. So, looking forward to getting into that. And then the last one of the monthly package is Goodbye 20th Century, and I'm kind of interested in this one. It's a Macedonian film, sort of in the sort of got a bit of a Mad Max. The description on the back says it's like Mad Max if it was made by Jodorowsky, and you know, those two things together, I'm about it. Can't go fucking wrong there. So those are the main releases of the month. When I get to watching them, maybe I'll say a little bit more about them, but there you go. Okay, so now into the sexy stuff. This is the big amount of stuff that I got for the Valentine's Day sale. I believe there's 10 different titles here. I'm not so sure. But, so 2 of these are to go along with a box set. I had the first title, so I wanted to get the other 2. That is Taboo. The Taboo series. Kind of hard to talk about in some ways, considering the subject matter of the films. I just find it great, fascinating kind of time in the 70s. Late, I believe the first one was made in the 80s, so early 80s, where these films, you know, now it's commonplace. You see a lot of the taboo kind of stuff. I don't know what I could say and not get kicked off of YouTube, but you all know what I'm talking about. But Kay Parker's in a lot of these. Rest in peace last year. Real devastating. But she was an amazing part of these movies. And a lot of great, like, 70s adult films in general. So I wanted to finish up the box. Ended up getting 2 and 3. I don't know much about the sequels. I've only really seen the first one, and then I got 4. These are very early titles for Vinegar Syndrome. I believe they might have come out before I even started buying from them, but I'm looking forward to digging into those. There's a lot of great features. The Kay Parker interviews on the first one were really great, so I really want to follow up on those. Next one is another one. I believe this came out when I was buying this stuff, but I never got around to picking it up. But I always thought it looked interesting. The roughy genre in general is a little bit of a hard spot for me. Some of them I'm not a big fan of. The only one I've really been really into was the early Herschel Gordon Lewis film, Scum of the Earth. It's a bonus feature on the Blu-ray for Blood Feast, and that one was kind of cool. It's got a lot of that like Herschel Gordon Lewis vibe, so I could at least get down with it in that way. But I like the concept of this one. It involves like police and stuff. It's almost like a sort of like a horror. I believe this is from 74. It's got some of that like forced entry and the like more extreme adult cinema of the mid 70s. That's a Climax of Blue Power, directed by Lee Frost, who also did The Black Gestapo. So you got kind of like a guy who is pretending to be a cop in order to seduce women, I guess, assault women, I guess, is a lot more accurate to what this movie does. So, yeah, so I guess it turns into like a murder mystery halfway through or something. So that looks interesting. Been wanting to check that out. Okay, so next we got a couple of sets of 2 film sets of Bob Chin films. This one was one of the early Vinegar Syndrome titles that they've been re-releasing on 4K. Young Like It Hot and Sweet Young Foxes. And these I'm interested in digging into. Heard a lot of really good stuff about both of them. And I love Bob Chin's stuff. You probably know him from all the Johnny Wad films that he directed and stuff. And so I'm really excited to dive into those. And then another reissue of one that they had on DVD. This one's on a regular Blu-ray. But we got Body Girls, and let's get physical. 2 Bob Chin style, Bob Chin directed aerobics adult films. So that's kind of interesting. I'm trying to see how they go about doing that as a genre, because it's quite strange. We got a couple of the darker side of things too. I really like their releases of a lot of these films. So we got 4 that go into a more like horror and darker vibe, maybe even more so than Climax Blue Power. Can't really say, I haven't watched that one yet, but anyway, we got Roger Watkins. Her name was Lisa, which is pretty cool looking new slipcover. I can't show you the reversible on that. But, yeah, like I said, Roger Watkins, you got Vanessa Del Rio and Samantha Fox, and I believe there's some other people in it. Roger Watkins did Corruption and Last House on Dead End Street, 2 really powerful films also put out by Vinegar Syndrome. And this seems to fall a lot in that kind of dark, erotic kind of vibe that those 2 films had. So I'm really excited to dig into that. Next up, this is one I've heard a shit ton about. It's one that everybody says you gotta get if you're a fan of these more erotic films. And we got Roberta Findlay's A Woman's Torment. Great cast on this one. Tar Chung, Jake Teague. This one's, like I said, directed by Roberta Findlay from '77. And this goes into kind of like it says it's more of like a Repulsion kind of thing. So I love Repulsion, like a lot of those early Roman Polanski films. So I'm looking forward to digging into that. I'm not as familiar with Roberta Findlay. I just haven't dug into her filmography as much as I'd like to, so looking forward to doing that. So this is Pandora's Mirror. I believe this is Sean Costello. This is a recent release from, I believe, November or something. I can't remember when they put this out. I know it came out in 2022. And this is another great cast. Veronica Hart, J.D. Gillis, Tiffany Clark. Just seems like a really cool subject about a possessed mirror that this person buys. Looking forward to digging into that. I like Sean Costello, his more like extreme films of the 70s, like Forced Entry and Water Power. So can't wait to dig into that. And it's got Jamie Gillis in it, so been watching a lot of his stuff. And then we got the first of 3 DVDs that I got. Now these are really early releases, and I don't know when these, if or when these will be re-released on Blu-ray. 2 of them, the other 2, I believe, will probably get releases because they're kind of the poster child of early Vinegar Syndrome releases. But I don't know. We'll see. But we got Dark Dreams. Another great cast on this. You got Tina Russell and Henry Reams. Don't know this director, but from what it says at the back of the box, he's kind of like a mysterious, like this is the only erotic film that he did. So I guess this falls into like Eerie Old House and like more the horror film kind of vibe, and also it's very like trippy and hallucinogenic too, so that sounds like it's going to be a good time. And a lot of their DVDs still look fantastic, so that should be fun. So back in the Bob Chin world, we got Hot and Saucy Pizza Girls, and I've always meant to pick this one up. Just another great cast. You got John Holmes, obviously, like I said, directed by Bob Shin. You got Chandida Royale and Cesare de Castu. I cannot read today. It's one of my problems. But yeah, I've always heard about this one. It's probably one of the most popular of the early years. Looking forward to watching that. And last one we got is Confessions of a Teenage Peanut Butter Freak. Another one that you always see talked about in their early releases. And this, again, pretty solid cast. Helen Madigan, again, John Holmes, Zachary Youngblood, Veronica Taylor. So, yeah, I'm guessing 75. You got your classic Golden Age erotica there. And, yeah, so that'll do it for that giant kind of box of the month and a couple of the other titles I got. I might come back on Wednesday when they announce the month of March releases, just to give like a quick overview of those, talk about some of the partner stuff. Probably going to get a bunch of stuff next month as well, just to catch up on a few things. And also got another record video in the works that I'm going. I got a couple of different subjects I'm going back and forth on, deciding which one I want to do first. But they're both pretty easy to write for, and I got a lot of it in my collection, so they might come like pretty close together. And yeah, that'll do it. If you want to follow me once again on Instagram, it's the Hordes of Manzerfaust. And yeah, like and subscribe, do all that good stuff. I'm Mike Manzer with Manzerfaust Productions. Watch a fucking movie, why don't you?